As you can see here, your credit has taken a beating, and your credit looks like this man's face right here. This is what I would assume your face would look like after dealing with a fight with Mike Tyson, right? What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the ugly truth about trying to increase your credit score and how you have more than likely been or are about to be wasting your time and not getting the results that you're seeking to try to get. If you don't know me, I'm Will Frazier, your credit and business expert, bringing you tips to get your credit back on track, because what goes down must come up. And if you don't want your score to drop 100 points, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified of any new videos I drop, just like this one. And also, if you are trying to work on your credit, you probably have a bunch of questions. And I've been asked a bunch of questions over the years, so I put all of those questions into an ebook that you can find down in the description. You can download that for free and get a lot of your credit questions answered. And also, if you get that ebook, it'll also send you straight over to a class that I did where I went over in detail all of the steps that you would need to take and things that you need to do in detail in order to try to see improvement with your credit. So make sure that you check out that ebook to get your credit questions answered, and also get more of those questions answered if you're trying to improve your credit score from that free class as well. Now, if you're still here listening to the video, that means you're probably in one of two situations. Either you have already been trying to improve your credit score, and through all of your efforts, you have barely been seeing any change or any difference in your credit. Or two, you're actually about to start working on your credit and you want to make sure that you're not taking the wrong steps, because that is exactly what you don't want to do, because then you will end up doing what you see on the screen, which is wasting time. So why is it important for you to not be wasting time? Well, there are really two different reasons why you would want to make sure that you're not wasting time. And it's because more than likely you have some type of goals that you're trying to achieve when it comes to your credit. You may be trying to get a house. You may be trying to get a car. You may be trying to get a job or something like that they're actually going to check your credit. So all of these are goals that you might have that are reasons why you would want to not be wasting any time when you're trying to improve your credit, because more than likely there's a timeline attached to that goal that you have. Now, if it's not about you having a goal, more than likely it's a problem that you're trying to fix. You might be getting high interest rates. You might have went to go get a car and they told you was gonna have to put $5,000 down on a car that you didn't want and still have a cosigner, plus have high interest rates with high payments, and that's a problem that you want to avoid. Or it could be that your lease is about to run up and you don't need to continue to live where you're currently living, so you need to get to another place and you need to do that before your lease ends. Or it could be that you know that your car is probably about to give out on you at any moment, at any given time, and you need to get a new car, and you don't know when your car just might give out on you. So you need to have things already ready in place so that you can go and get a new car when the time being. And God forbid something happened out of the blue unexpectedly where you suddenly have to move away, or you suddenly have to get a new car for an accident or something like that, and then you don't have your credit in place. Then you really don't have time and you don't have things in place already so that you can do what you need to do to fix this problem or to overcome this obstacle. All of these are reasons why you would want to make sure that you are thinking about this and doing this proactively, so that you don't end up wasting time and not being able to meet your goals or not being able to fix a problem when it occurs. Now, the way that people usually end up wasting their time usually comes in two different forms. Either you're taking the wrong steps, meaning you have been doing things that aren't beneficial or that won't get you to the end goal as fast as you need to get to the end goal, or maybe you're procrastinating and you're not doing what you need to do at all. And this one actually happens a lot more. A person might say, okay, this year is going to be the year I'm going to work on my credit. This month is going to be the month I'm going to work on my credit. And they never do, or they are thinking the one day, scenario where it's like, okay, one day I'm going to do this, and that one day just never seems to come around. So those are the two ways that people are usually wasting time, by taking the wrong steps or by just not doing any steps, which is also taking the wrong steps, because you're not doing anything to try to get towards the goal that you have, and you have this goal and you have this timeline. Or you also know you need to be preparing yourself for the unexpected, so that no matter what happens or when it happens, if you're not expecting it, you still have everything in place and you're ready to go. You can go do whatever you need to do without having to pay high interest, without having to pay high down payments, and you can have that self-assurance that you won't have to deal with those situations, and you can keep money in your pocket that you would have to pay extra out of pocket for not having your credit in place and for not being proactive. Now, while there are many missteps a person can take or wrong actions and steps a person can follow to try to improve their credit, which can lead them to getting slow to no results at all, there's going to be one that we're going to focus on particularly today, and that is going to be building credit. Now, I'm focusing on this one because I have seen, especially lately, a lot of people think that by building credit, as in, getting an account to start building a positive credit history, they think that that is going to fix all of their credit problems while completely ignoring everything else that's going on wrong with their credit. I've seen people do this and they waste months of their time thinking that they're going to get a positive result from doing this, or an extreme positive result from doing this, and then they end up nowhere, and they end up wasting a whole bunch of time where they could have been a lot further along had they not just been trying to build credit and ignoring everything else. So we're going to go through in detail how this is a problem that is not going to get you the result that you want to see, so that I can help you to prevent yourself from wasting your own time. So for example, to give you an idea of why this doesn't really help you when you're trying to improve your credit. So let's say you got into a fight with Mike Tyson, right? The old Mike Tyson, the young Mike Tyson, the hungry Mike Tyson. So as a result of this fight, you end up having a pretty messed up face, right? So God knows how much damage he might have done to your face. But with that damage being done, what would you think you would need to do in order to try to recover from that damage that has happened to your face, from Mike Tyson? So if you try to, put a little bit of makeup on, if you try to, just put a hat on or something like that, that's not something that's really going to be helpful to your situation. So here's an example of what that would look like in regards to your credit. So as you can see here, your credit has taken a beating, and your credit looks like this man's face right here. This is what I would assume your face would look like after dealing with a fight with Mike Tyson, right? So this is what your face looks like. And that's because you got late payments on your credit. You got credit card charge-offs, repossessions, medical collections, cable bill collections, apartment collections, all of this resulting in a 542 credit score. And this is what your face looks like walking into the lender, right? So it doesn't look pretty. It looks pretty ugly, if anything. And this is the situation that you're dealing with while you're trying to go into the lender's office to get whatever it is you need to get, or while you're applying for whatever you're applying for. You can tell that the situation is not going to really look favorable. So what you decide to do with this messed up face from taking a beating from Mike Tyson, you think that, okay, I'm going to, just put a hat on. I'm just throwing a nice hat, and that's going to make me look better. Or in terms of fixing your credit, you go out and you get a secure credit card, right? So this is what that's going to look like. So you still got the ugly face, but you didn't put a nice looking hat on, aka you got a secure credit card. So now, as you can see, the medical collections, the cable bill, the charge-offs, the repossessions, late payments, all that stuff is still there. You have a nice hat on, yes, that's true, but everything else is still there. And the way that your credit score works is it calculates the information that it sees on the report. So if you have a whole bunch of negative information on your report, and then you go get one positive thing and you think that's going to fix your credit or help you get to a better state with your credit, you're wrong. And as you can see, the credit score only increased to a 547, whereas before it was a 542. So you only got an increase of about 5 points from adding this secured credit card to your credit, because you still have all this negative stuff there. So you can put on a nice hat and think that that's going to really help you, but it's really not, because your face is still going to look like what your face looks like. Your credit is still going to look like what it looks like, and it's going to tell the lender, this person does not pay all these things. This person has not paid all these things for months, maybe even years, and you are coming up in here with just one account, and you're thinking that we're going to believe that you're going to pay us back, and we can see that you have not paid all these other people back. That's not how it's going to work with your credit score calculation, and that's not how it's going to work when you bring that same credit report or that same ugly mug with the hat on into the lender's office. Now, you might still think, okay, well, even though this may be the case, I'ma just go get something else. I'ma also get a credit builder loan, and I'ma pay on it for like 3 months, 6 months, and that's gonna help me, fix my credit. So I would say that's the equivalent. Okay, so now you got your nice hat on, so we're gonna throw on some shades, try to, up the look just a little bit more, but you still see the ugly mug there. Now you have the credit builder loan, you have the secured credit card, and now your credit score is a whopping 552, because even though you are taking some positive actions, again, you still have all of that negative stuff there, and that stuff is going to act like an anchor weighing you down, and it's going to continue to hold back the progress that you could have seen had that information not been on your credit report. So, like I said, all of these things are still there, and it's multiple of them, and you just have, these two things that you're paying on time, and you thinking that adding a few months of payment history in a lot of places, like you might go to a car dealership, they may tell you, get this car, pay on it for 3 months, 6 months, and then come back and your credit will be all better. I've heard a lot of people tell me that they get told that at the dealership and maybe at several other places, but at the end of the day, it's still not going to help you. Yes, you've added positive payment history to your credit report, but you still have all this negative information that's out there. So that the credits, you can't trick the credit score calculation, and it's very complex, and it's going to be looking at all of this information that still says that you don't pay people back on time, and that is definitely going to outweigh and hold back your progression, and that is why you are barely going to see any score increases even after a significant amount of time, because you still have this negative information on your credit report. So building credit and waiting time is only going to be a waste of your time, and you will barely see any results until you deal with that negative information on your credit report. Your credit report is still going to look like this man's face right here. So what is it that you do? What is it that is the solution? What is it that's going to help you get to your end result or your end goal in a more efficient, in a faster fashion than you just trying to build credit over time and wait and see what happens? Now, as you can see here, what you want to do is you want to get rid of that negative information that is on your credit report. Now, that in combination with having a credit builder loan, having a secured credit card, will actually help your credit score see increases. And now you have the hat on, you got the shades on, you also got, everything else dressed up to the T, and now this is how you walking into the lender's office, because you actually took the right steps to try to get you where you needed to be, and you didn't waste any time in doing it, because you did all of the right actions that will actually help your credit score to increase. Now, when it comes down to doing this, most people think that, as far as trying to get things off of your credit report, that if it's actually your account, or if it's something that you paid off or something like that, you want it to come off your credit report because you paid it off. Now, the fact that you paid it off is not a reason for it to come off of your credit. There are some collection companies that may do a pay per deletion, but that's kind of rare. Not all of them are going to do that, but some of them do, but most of them, they're not going to do that. So paying something off isn't a reason for it to come off of your credit report, and it doesn't matter if the account is actually yours or not. There are several different laws that are out there, several different compliance issues that are out there that can cause an item to come off of your credit report legally and legitimately, and can keep it off of your credit report as well. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with what you owe, like owing the debt. That is a total different thing. But if an item isn't on your credit report, it can actually help your credit score to increase, because that negative information is no longer included in a calculation. So that is what you want to look at in regards to trying to efficiently get your credit score up. You have to know what you need to do to try to get these particular types of accounts off of your credit report. They can help in addition to you getting these credit builders to try to build up your credit score. And then as a result of all of this, then your credit score will increase, and it will increase in faster increments, especially over time, while you don't have the negative information there, and while you also are building good positive credit history. So hopefully this information was helpful and useful to you. Again, don't forget to check out the top credit questions down in the description so you can get more information on things that might be going on with your credit situations, and it can help you out and give you a lot of answers really quickly versus you trying to figure them out, scouring the internet, trying to see what it is that you need to do to help your credit. And this in turn can help you, be able to get approved for that business loan that you're trying to get, or that house you're trying to get, the car you're trying to get, or those jobs that actually check your credit. So if you find this information useful, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this information with somebody else that you know needs to hear this information. And I'll see you guys next time.